Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coffee Break, and welcome back to the CoffeeCast ProCast Edition. I am going to be doing game number 2 in this TvT series that we're doing. I think it's a best of 3, and it's just from random Battle.net instances. Alright, all that, initial stuff out of the way. Oh man, what a stretch. That was an amazing stretch. This is going to be my first game ever that I'm using FF Split. I'm going to try not to use XSplit, see what happens lag-wise, just kind of see what exactly is going on, and see if this works well for recording. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm a little bit worried something's going to kind of get jacked up because I've obviously never used FF Split before. I'm just kind of guessing along to see exactly what's going on. And yeah, so we'll see what exactly happens here. Spawning on the lower left-hand side of Daybreak, it's going to be our yellow Terran player, Marine King Prime, who, just like last game, is going to be opening up gas first. So at least this game we have a little bit better of an idea of what he's going to be doing. Alternatively, he could just open up gas first and then do something completely different, just to completely jack with us. Spawning on the top right-hand side, he is down 0-1 in this series. It is going to be our pink Terran player. It is LiquidTaeja, who, despite taking a lot of damage last game from the same build out of MKP, going to go unscouted. He's going to unscout his opponent. He's going to forget everything he ever saw. No, he's not going to scout his opponent, and alternatively is just going to lay down a command center at 15. So this is going to be the fastest command center that LiquidTaeja can possibly go for, reasonably. I mean, I suppose you could do a 6 command center, but that would just be stupid. So he's going to be going for a CC first against MKP's super aggressive build that we're going to be seeing here. Probably going to be the same one that we saw out of him last game. So should be interesting to see what happens, to say the least. So if LiquidTaeja can actually hold this, he will be in probably the most advantageous position that you could ever possibly be in StarCraft 2. Here's something a little bit different than the last game, though. This time MKP is going to be laying down a second refinery before getting that starport. So we could be, I think we're going to be having siege tanks this game, unless this is going to be some sort of a stim push. I don't think MKP has yet to scout his opponent, no, so he does not know that his opponent did go for a CC first. That Tech Lab just about to finish up here. Factory just about to finish up as well. Is it going to be stim? Is it going to be siege tanks? It's going to be siege tanks or infernal pre-igniter, I suppose, coming out of MKP. Either way, that's going to be a very, very aggressive opening. Just have just that one Marine on the field to deny any sort of scouting from LiquidTaeja. Definitely going to help him out quite a bit. Actually, no, just going to be putting the starport down on this. Starport down on that. So probably just going to be rushing Banshees this game. Just completely foregoing any sort of unit composition, just kind of, doing whatever he can to get some damage done here. Taeja, well, once again, has he scouted? No, he's not yet scouted the fact that there is this this command center here already. Taeja's just obviously going to be SCVing up and muling up here. I keep wanting to call it droning up since he's going to be getting such a lead. I don't know why. Maybe it's just one of those weird things. So he's going to be taking advantage there in that category, in that economic category, fairly quickly here. Just have 2 racks on the field this time. Decided not to go straight into a factory and have absolutely no unit producing buildings. And also has his double gas down on the field as well. Starport is now finished up. Going to be researching Banshee cloaking here. So if if LiquidTaeja does catch some sort of wind of this, he will be able to start saving up a little bit. And get a scan down on the field. Now this one Hellion actually tells a lot to LiquidTaeja. A lot of time if you do see that one Hellion, you know exactly what's going to be coming, because they just use just enough resources to make a single Hellion. No reactored Hellions and no Marines with that Hellion. Yeah, there's going to be a Banshee on the field. So I think that, if nothing else, that should be one telltale sign that LiquidTaeja can read to hopefully figure out what's going on. He did drop another mule. He's going to drop a mule with this command center, or is he going to be saving up? That is the big question we're going to be asking here. He's going to drop a mule with it. So maybe he hasn't exactly caught on to what's going on right now. That first Banshee is going to be coming out on the field, rallied out across the map to do a wee bit of damage there. I don't know why. I think I'm going Irish today on this cast. I don't understand. So that Banshee going to be coming over into the natural expansion of LiquidTaeja. See if he can get some damage done here, which he indubitably will, I suppose. I'm using all sorts of weird words today. I don't know why. I really don't understand. Starport just now coming down on the field for LiquidTaeja, so it's going to be a while before we can get any sort of Viking support out against this Banshee, which is going to be pretty much the best counter you can get to a Banshee. MKP now throwing his command center down. And, I mean, there's almost a little bit of guaranteed damage here. There's the missile turret going down, but that's not going to finish up nearly in time. Banshee cloaking has finished. Second Banshee going to be coming on the field shortly. If he can get even one volley off, oh no. No, the Marines can't even get a single volley off onto this Banshee here. And this missile turret obviously not going to be going up anytime soon. In fact, the MKP going to be target firing that down, make sure that gets taken out here. And it looks like the Banshee pretty much just doing work over here for MKP, and I think that LiquidTaeja is going to, oh man, he did manage to pick that Banshee off actually, and that's actually going to even up our income tab quite a bit here. Don't forget though folks, we do have this second Banshee coming onto the field for MKP. LiquidTaeja's first Viking coming onto the field as well now, which is what he really wants to get out right now to be able to take out this Banshee. Now going to be using cloaking there as well, but there is at least a missile turret over here, but does it have the range to be able to spot this? No, it does not. So another scan is going to have to be used. MKP going to have to be fairly careful with how he does play this. Going to be able to pick off quite a few Marines here, which is a pretty big deal there. There we go, getting the scan down. I don't think he's going to quite get the Banshee. No, the Banshee gets away with just 58 health left. Once again, this Viking is going to be able to do quite a bit of work against that Banshee. Where is our second scan? It's not there, and it's certainly not there. So it's going to be a little bit of time until this Banshee can be killed off. In the meantime, a lot of Marines dying, which is going to open up any sort of ground attack for MKP, as I think at least 8 Marines have died to this Banshee here. This Banshee, whoop. Come on, there we go. The Banshee doing quite a bit of damage. 9 kills so far on this single Banshee here. Oh, needs to be careful. Oh, running out of cloaking energy, and the Viking immediately swoops in and takes that out. But, oh, guess what? There's another Banshee on the field already for MKP and across the map. Going to be saving up scanning energy now, though. Oh, not going to be saving up scanning energy, which means that this Banshee's just going to be able to cloak up and do the same thing he's been doing. Oh no! The orbital command using its muling power right as this Banshee moves in there, so neither command center now has a mule available, or pardon me, a scan available, and MKP is just going to be doing more work with this Banshee. Finally, a Raven does come onto the field and is going to be able to spot this Banshee, and that's going to end all the Banshee harassment for MKP for the most part here. I can't imagine MKP trying to run back across the map with that Banshee. But you know what? While he was doing all that Banshee harassment, he evened out the Harvester tab. He got both the gases out of his natural expansion running, so he's up on all 4 gases now. He has a very nice position set up here. I mean, he has a tech lab open for whenever he wants to switch tech. He's doing double helium production. He's dropping down a couple of extra factories. So it looks like we're going to be seeing the same unit composition in the mid-game here out of MKP as we did from him in the previous game. Going to be taking over the watchtower with these Hellions and moving out across the map. Don't really think he's going to be able to do all that much damage over here, but he is set up in a fairly solid position. Not that Taeja is necessarily in a bad position himself. They're both up on 2 bases. Taeja just now starting to get his 4th gas over at his natural expansion. But Taeja didn't really take any crippling damage, I suppose. I mean, he's just kind of on par with where MKP is, so that command center first really didn't hurt him all that much this game, considering the fact that he was able to hold out against that. Hellion's going to be trying to poke and prod from MKP, but they're not going to be able to get in with it. This nice defensive line here out of MKP. And I just want to say, great heads up by MKP putting the wounded Marines in the bunker. I know that's something that you see all professional players do, but if you guys are not doing that, that's definitely something you guys should be doing. MKP now going to be trying to secure an economic lead, going to be taking his 3rd base. It's going to be quite a while until LiquidTaeja's 3rd base does get over to the 3rd area, as it is still sitting up in the main base here. Probably going to be floating over here. I can't imagine it going all the way down here. Oh, wait, sorry, this isn't Cloud Kingdom. This isn't Cloud Kingdom. This is Daybreak. Yeah, it'll be coming down here. Completely ignore that last statement. That was dumb. That was dumb, to say the least. It looks like MKP is going to be getting a little bit of his own medicine here. Banshee is in the natural expansion. Oh my, he doesn't have anything to shoot air with. He has literally nothing to shoot air with, and these SCVs are just going to be on mass repair, trying to keep themselves alive as long as humanly possible. 5 kills, 6 kills soon on this Banshee, as that mule, actually the mule died of its own accord there. But SCV's going to be lasting longer than they should with this self-repair. But I mean, once again, this is a great counter-harassment by LiquidTaeja to be able to get a little bit of damage done and try to re-secure his lead, try to buy himself a little bit of time, especially to be able to secure his 3rd base. As, I mean, he can't really sustain himself against a 3-base Terran for all that long, especially a 3-base meching Terran here, which is what we're seeing out of LiquidTaeja a lot of tech labs down on these factories. 1 factory does have a reactor. 2 factories actually have a reactor now. So I suppose that isn't some sort of overwhelming margin. Siege Tank's going to be taking up a defensive position over at the 3rd base. In the meantime, going to be having a slow bio push coming out retaking this watchtower here and probably just falling back home, leaving a single Marine to guard that tower. That Marine is going to have to be like the most effective Marine guard in the existence of humanity. I mean seriously. No upgrades on infantry weapons, but what we're really looking forward here is the armories. There they are going to be getting a level 2 weapons and armor for MKP over on Taeja's side of things. Oh, 0-0 on his mech, and where's his bio 0-1 on his bio. So MKP actually sitting at a pretty nice advantage there in the upgrade count. In fact, that's going to heavily favor him in any engagement, especially if he can get 2-2 up before any real engagement happens, which with the way that these players are positioned, I can't imagine anything happening all that soon. I mean, MKP is going to be moving out with Hellions, but that's not going to be our big engagement that we're really looking for. But guess what? +2 weapons Infernal Pre-Igniter Hellions, pretty effective against worker lines, believe it or not. Currently, they're going to be doing 16 damage versus light, going to be taking still 3 attack volleys to be able to take out those SCVs. They're all going to be running right into the siege tank line. Oh, got rather clumped up there, needs to be careful. Oh no! Actually, Taeja going to be able to cut off these reinforcements unless he just lets them get away completely. There we go. Now turning around to fight this. Concussive shells going down on those Hellions. They are forfeit. Not even going to be trying to run those away. Doing a little bit of damage to that biopole, but not all that much. And that was definitely going to be a win for a LiquidTaeja there, even though the Hellions are a fairly cheap unit. I mean, anytime you throw away units, you don't want to just throw them to their death. You want to make them do something. I mean, like in if there was a Zerg player in the game and his army was maxed out and he was looking to free up some supply, you don't see him just randomly move order his units into an army. No, I mean, he'll try to find a nice little crack in the opponent. You know, run into the main base, get some scouting, or run into the natural expansion, kill some harvesters. So those were just kind of forfeit for free. I mean, he did a little bit of damage here, but not all that much, considering that we have a couple of medevacs above healing up those units. 2-2 getting fairly close to finishing. Infernal Pre-Igniter just now finishing, so they actually went into that engagement without Infernal Pre-Igniter. I misread that a little bit there. Quite a shame for them, going from 16 down to 21 damage versus light. Still going to need a couple more upgrades to be able to kill harvesters in one shot. Oh, these siege tanks for both players are actually completely on siege. LiquidTaeja might be able to siege up first and get a little advantage. No, going to be trying to press in here. Needs to siege these tanks up. Going to get a late siege up against the siege tanks of MKP. But I think it's going to be enough anyways, because MKP just does not have nearly as much on the field as LiquidTaeja does. Now these bioforces are going to be completely obliterated here. But the air control, air superiority going over to LiquidTaeja here with 3 Vikings to just the 2. Now 4 Vikings to 0, and that means LiquidTaeja is going to be able to clean up the siege tank, going to be able to unsiege the siege tanks and move up into the natural expansion here of MKP, who only has a single, well, 2 or 3 siege tanks here to defend, and a couple of Hellions. Oh, this could be very, very dangerous. Actually, it looked like MKP was trying to establish a base in the middle of the map there. That's not going to work. That's going to get canceled, and actually LiquidTaeja might just need to fall back and recoup his army, because while he does have an advantage right now, it's not a huge advantage, and trying to run up into a siege tank line would be suicide. Alternatively, he could try to move around to the 3rd base and try to take this out. If he could even force a liftoff on that 3rd base, that would be a great victory for him. Vikings still going to be doing work for LiquidTaeja, and oh, going to be able to almost take out another Viking, except that Viking did land down there. MKP going to be trying to siege up on the top of his ramp right there, but that's not the best positioning in the world. It's going to allow a lot of room for LiquidTaeja to maneuver. It's going to get a couple of nice volleys off onto those Hellions before they do finally fall away. A couple of Marauders going to be coming into the Harvester line here. This Command Center is going to fall unless it's lifted off. MKP, unless it's lifted off. No, MKP just going to try to go for it and save the space. Running Hellions up into the siege tank line. They are not quite close enough. There we go. Now they're close enough, but they're still going to get obliterated in the end. I mean, yeah, sure, MKP did some damage to himself there, but wow, these are literally going to take forever to be able to kill this off. There are a couple of Marauders that could come back and assist these, but no, it's just going to unsiege the siege tanks instead. And there we go. That just shows how effective Hellions are versus siege tanks. And still air superiority going over to LiquidTaeja. He did just lose his Raven, unfortunately, which is going to be very, very annoying for him. Not the biggest deal in the world. 2-2 now finished up for MKP. 3-3 now on the way. Level 3 weapons, at least, for his bioforces for LiquidTaeja. I don't know if it's going to quite be enough. Higher DPS goes over to MKP with that unsieged siege tanks, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, taking a lot of damage. One siege tank going to go down. Is the second one? Oh yes, that just shows how much DPS that siege tanks can have when they are on siege. But here comes a small bioforce coming up behind the siege tanks, going to be able to pick off 1 siege tank on the high ground. They're going to be able to pick off 2 siege tanks on the high ground with some Viking help there. And so MKP just kind of running out of forces. LiquidTaeja is kind of doing a Zerg style of play here, where he's just rallying all of his reinforcements out across the map, trying to eliminate MKP because he just knows he can plain flat out macro MKP at this point. Harvester count fairly even, though, going to need to be somewhat careful, but is up 80 to 40 supply, going to be re-rallying his forces in the middle of the map there, getting ready for another push here. He really can push wherever he wants on OC tank line right now for MKP, who really needs to siege up like right here. That's going to be his best positioning, but that still is going to leave him quite vulnerable over in his third base. There, that's good siege tank positioning over in that third base and mineral line there. That's what he needed before. He would have been in a much better position if he'd had a siege tank there before. Still, LiquidTaeja at this point knows that he has full control of this game. He has full control of the map, even putting a center tower on his opponent's side of the map. Going to be able to expand it to both a 4th and a 5th base, which is going to put him in a very, very nice economic position. Going to even be able to set up a little bit of a contain over here with 2 siege tanks just out of range of that command center. Where these he could actually move up into this command center and begin assaulting it if he truly desired there. Oh, wait, no, well, there it is. Here, whoop, dang it. There's the siege tank line of MKP right now. And it looks like LiquidTaeja is not going to be having any of that. Going to be running straight up in there. Going to be taking out that siege tank, which means that he has a great opening along the north side of this third base to be able to take out of this command center here. Going to be doing quite a bit of damage. So here comes the Hellions running back into that siege tank line to be able to get a little bit of support. This is a lot like TvT of old with siege tank lines versus siege tank lines, and whoever can break it first wins there. Oh no, siege tank's caught on siege here. Needs to siege back up. Oh, actually needs to get some siege tanks somewhere sieged up. Going to be taking a lot of damage here, LiquidTaeja is, but I think that he's still just going to have so much more than his opponent. These blue flame Hellions not all that great for the siege tanks, and the Marauders at least. Still, air superiority does go to MKP, but when you have this many units on the ground, it doesn't even matter. Going to be pushing straight into the siege tank line. LiquidTaeja finally does get his siege tank sieged up. Don't think it's going to be enough for MKP here, as LiquidTaeja just barreling through his opponent right now. Now going to be able to even re-rally into the natural expansion. As there's only really a single, well, I guess there's a couple, yeah, there's only one siege tank there for MKP, who's going to be trying to make another command center here, but I just don't think he's going to have enough here. Level 3 weapons is finishing up for the ground forces. 2-3 going to be down there for LiquidTaeja on the bio forces. Only 0-2 for his tanks, but that means that he is still going to have a fairly, at least some upgrades versus the mech upgrades of MKP. LiquidTaeja, though, once again, up on 5 bases to just 3 of MKP. He could literally just starve his opponent out right now and win the game, as MKP's main base running out. Natural expansion going to be running low in about a minute or two here. A couple of Hellions are going to be coming out across the map, trying to get some scouting done. Maybe try to get a little bit of economic damage done as well. Don't know if it's going to be all the damage that he really needs to do, though. Looks like we're going to be having a big drop coming into the main base of MKP. LiquidTaeja just going for it here. No balls and no glory there. Sieging up on the low ground. A lot of clubbed forces here for LiquidTaeja. But in the meantime, going to be running the rest of his forces in through the main ramp there. And there's the GG from MKP. LiquidTaeja going to take game number 2 in the best of 3 series and bring us on to an ace match. Very well played by Taeja, and I've been lamenting to my friends a lot lately how I really miss these siege tank positioning battles where you just have siege line versus siege line. The arrows would be touching each other's tanks, but just out of range. And we're seeing that a lot, or at least we saw something reminiscent of that strategy, except a very, very aggressive form almost of that strategy here in this TvT. So I'm really looking forward to see what these players can bring for us in game number 3. Once again, this was kind of a test with FF Split. I hope everything came out all right. I'm going to be reviewing this VOD, cutting it up, and hopefully I won't have to just discard it because this was a very, very good game to cast. I'm going to be going on to game number 3 now, so stick around, folks. And until next time, this is Coffee Break, signing out.